Jeff and Jeremy. It's like a radiogasm.
I said, hey, babe, check it out on the podcast.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
and Spotify.
All this is going viral.
Good morning. Yesterday we had a poll question. I wish we had more time to talk about it. It's kind of going back and forth with Griffey fan on our text line, 805-543-3693. I don't know what's going on with our... when you... It drives me nuts is when you go to a computer...
You're talking about the results of the previous poll question.
Yeah.
The other one later on. One that's up now.
No, what I'm talking about is I'm clicking on the text conversation we had, and it will not bring it up. And boy, that drives me nuts. I don't know what's going on with our text line, but it sucks right now. Here we go.
Maybe it's not the computer.
Takes 30 seconds to bring it up.
Computers
that doesn't work in radio. All right.
Computers make mistakes?
He wrote in yesterday, he says, people need to be accountable for their actions.
Do computers make mistakes?
Some homeless need help. Others choose the path instead of working. And my whole argument was with the poll question, and it was, what should we do about the park situation with homeless people setting up camps in our parks using drugs? And the one I'm thinking about specifically is Mitchell Park, right? Mm-hmm. That's the one off of
and what they're going to do, they said they're going to send around officers, and they're going to tell them, hey, can't camp here anymore. And then if that doesn't, get them out of there, then they're going to start issuing citations and, I don't know, maybe eventually arrests. I have no idea.
For a long time,
can you get blood from a stone, though?
You see them there all the time, and you see the setups, and maybe now it's more apparent because they're actually putting up tents, but you see people with all their stuff, and they're homeless, and, I don't know, I feel bad, but at the same time, if I paid about $1 million to live downtown, and I want my kids to be able to go over to that park and play, because there is toy structures for kids, and they can never go over there, and I'm paying taxes in this town. Not only did I pay $1 million to buy this house to live by this park, but now I'm paying taxes. And where's this money going? I pay taxes to the police. I pay taxes for the local government to come up with a solution. And when they're not coming up with a solution, I just kind of feel like, what am I paying taxes for?
When you are a homeless person, where would you rather live? I would want to live in the town where people are paying $1 million for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, because I know that the means are probably there.
Who wouldn't?
Exactly.
Who wouldn't? But that's not the answer to the question. We have local government officials. We have city council members. Mm-hmm. We have board of supervisors. We have people that work for the police department. Mm-hmm. We have safety officers. We have all these things set in place, but I feel like it's not getting done. Now, I don't live in town. There's a reason I don't live in San Luis Obispo. This is one of the top 5 reasons.
As is mine. I used to live in downtown Slow. I loved living in downtown Slow. You
had homeless people taking showers in your backyard. Stealing stuff out of your cars. Mm-hmm. You had to make sure everything was on lockdown in San Luis Obispo.
Right.
My point is, I think we need to hold our local government a little bit more accountable. That's all. That's all. This has nothing to do with a homeless person. I feel for those people, and something should be done. And I'm not just saying, take them out or bust them off or whatever. We got to figure out a solution. But somebody's going to, what the argument is? Well, it's going to cost more money.
Everybody says that about this problem, though. We've got to figure out a solution. Everybody talks about finding a solution, but they can't. I think it's a tough problem to tackle. You just don't get in there and roll your sleeves up and, paint the house. This has got so many working parts to it, and they try. And whenever they try to do something, like they tried over here at the Bob Jones Trail.
We tried here at the radio station. If we work outside of town, we're off of Broad Street over here by the Graduate. Mm-hmm. If you don't know where that's at, it's out kind of towards the airport. So we're not downtown by any means, but still there's a lot of vagrants that come through here. A lot of them that live in their cars or little RVs or things like that, park on the street out in front of the radio station. And at night they would come in and they would use the bathroom. And you know what? I'm fine with that. As long as they didn't leave it and with needles in there, going to the bathroom on the floor. It was disgusting. It was so bad that the company that owns this building that we lease from had to come in and put locks on all the bathrooms, codes, and then we each have our own code. Since that has happened, the bathrooms it's a complete turnaround.
So you're saying codes for parks?
Maybe you lock them up with gates and you give everybody in the
a code.
I don't know.
We used to have to do that. We had
I don't want to say we live in that world, but I don't know what to tell you.
We had a community park. I grew up on a lake in the Seattle area, but we lived across the street. Now I had friends that had houses on the lake, so I'd go down to their house to get to the lake, and we'd puddle around on our boats and have fun in the summertime and stuff like that. But we also had a community park that we could go to, where they give us a key when we moved into the neighborhood, and it was only for people that lived in that neighborhood to access that park. You couldn't go to that park. And I remember sometimes people would be there from that weren't like in the neighborhood, and it would cause all kinds of tension because
they're from another neighborhood. They didn't have a key, but they bought.
Like you could tell if somebody was not from the neighborhood because it was a small neighborhood.
Sure.
I mean, there was only probably, I don't know, maybe 40 people that had access to the park, and people would come up to them and they'd be like, "Hey, you. What's your address?" They started drilling them and stuff like that. And that's not anything anybody wants to deal with either.
I know.
Then what are you going to do with the community park? And then how are you going to keep that code out of the hands of somebody who's just going to give it to somebody when they want to get in?
I don't know. We got to come up with something. And I just know that we elect and pay these city officials to do that.
So you want to put fences around the open spaces.
Government is here to serve us, not the other way around. You got to remember that. You can be noisy if you want. You can say.
You
something.
also can make the choice not to go to the park that has the people living in it.
Why did you buy your house there? Why do you have to live around that? Why do you have to live around that?
Like some people I know and move out of San Luis Obispo and move to Paso Robles.
That's true. Would love to hear your thoughts. 805-543-3693. Those are the 805 beer lines. You can also hit us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jeff and Jeremy. All right, that was a little serious and deep. Yesterday's poll question, do you have the results from it? Because we never got a chance to finish it.
Yeah, most people saying it's great that they're at least trying to do something by
and the question was,
going up to them in the park.
Are you cool with them going in and taking the park?
They want to remove tents from the public spaces like parks. Do you think that helps the homeless situation? To 30% of people saying no, they drove the homeless away from Bob Jones, and now they just went to the parks. Now they'll go to another place. And 28% say, it's reached a point of critical mass. So it's hard. I mean, we can't even get a solution in the poll question.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Alice Cooper says there's a lot of new music coming out.
I think that this year and next year, you're going to see an avalanche of albums coming out because every single artist I know is either writing or recording, and everybody has a studio. So you know how much material that is? All these bands are going to come out with albums at the same time. That's why I tried to get Detroit Stories out before everybody.
No, I've thought about this. I think you're going to see not only that, but then what do you do when you put out a new album? You go on tour. I think we're going to have an onslaught of live music coming through.
Does that mean maybe like acts that aren't superstars, like Alice Cooper? Very good chance he can be playing here.
Yes, well,
because the other venues are too sold out.
He was supposed to play at Vina Robles Amphitheater, and then this whole thing went down. I see that being the case, and it's starting in the fall, and it's going to be a weird music season. I think it's going to go all the way through the winter. At least for us in California, I think places like Florida, they'll probably be doing it, sooner than later. But I've thought of that, and I like to play general manager on my fantasy football team, but I also like to do it because music's kind of something that's important with us because it's our jobs. And I was thinking of this, and I was like, not only are you going to get like a ton of new music, but just they make their money from tours now. They don't sell a lot of units, and if they do, a lot of times the proceeds go mostly to the record companies. So all the bigger venue type acts are going to be filling up the open dates in the bigger places. But what we've seen with Vina Robles especially is whenever there's like a festival in the area or something like that, and one act wants to make a little extra money on the side and come down and play or go up and play at Vina Robles, like Coachella or Outside Lands or something like that, they'll play there. Well, now that venue will be available all the other venues will be full, so that venue will be available for them to go to. I think it's good news.
Oh, it's great news. I mean, just new music. Foo Fighters, during this whole thing, were able to write a new album and produce it, and they probably had a lot of it done before it got too crazy. The new album, Medicine at Midnight. Have you checked out any of the songs yet or heard any of it?
I have not.
Waiting on a War, and there's something else. I forget all the titles, but there's like 13 tracks on this or 15 tracks on this new album, and I'm meaning to spend more time with it. I've been trying to push the management here at the radio station because I had a feeling this was going to be coming. Like, we're going to start seeing new music from Alice Cooper. We're going to definitely see new music from the Foo Fighters. It's already out here. A lot of the artists that we play, not all of them, some of them are dead, some of them are alive, some of them aren't producing any new music, but a lot of our artists still are getting back in the studio, and they're producing and they're writing new stuff, especially since they've had an entire year off to do it, to play these songs on the radio. I know we're a classic rock station, and we play the late 60s to the, mid 90s, squeeze in a couple of 2000s here or there. But I would love it. Would you like the radio station to play, like if the Foo Fighters have a new hit or a new album out, that we maybe play a song or two from it from time to time?
I'd have to hear it.
Oh, you have to screen it?
I like hearing the songs I know.
You can still hear the songs you know.
Yeah, but then
after you heard an hour of that, maybe here's the new one. Bruce Springsteen's got a new album out.
I'm going to sit through the new Bruce Springsteen song when I want to just hear Born to Run? Come on.
805-543-3693. Those are the 805 beer lines. 805 beer. Live the 805 lifestyle. Go to 805beer.com.
Wake up. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
If you weren't with us late in the show yesterday, Jeff told us about a splinter that he got in his finger trying to close his gate. I mean, you get splinters doing the stupidest stuff. I got a buddy who's got a railing at his cabin, and when you walk downstairs off the deck, you just want to grab a railing, right? And so every time I do that, I get a splinter right here between my thumb and my pointer finger. It goes in every time. So now what I do is I put number one, I yell at him, can we not sand this down and put a garnish or some kind of, cure or some kind of a lacquer or a sealant on it? So now what I do is I just walk down the stairs with my hands in my pocket because I am, my mom always told me, when you go up the escalator, when you're in public place, don't touch the railings, full of germs. Now, I can't do it. I always grab a railing. I always grab the escalator. And now it's actually taught me to not do it because I put my hands in my pocket. Getting a splinter is the worst. I haven't had one in a long time, but they suck. By the way, Pat.
This is the worst one I've ever had.
85 years old. She's our oldest listener that we know of. She's very concerned about you, and she's on the phone.
Morning, Pat.
Hi. Your splinter, you do not want to leave that in there. You need to get it out because it will fill up with pus, P-U-S, and it will give you a lot of grief. It even cause infection to go up your arm, and it's just not good.
That's what I like. The worst part about it is I'm starting to feel.
Well, he wants it out.
I feel it all over my hand.
Yeah,
it's not like it's not.
Oh, the nerve is hitting the nerve, which is shooting pain down your hand.
Yeah.
Somebody says you can put super glue on it, but you can't even get to it. Right? That's the problem.
That's crazy.
No, wouldn't super glue lock it in?
Well, I think they're thinking if you let it dry, it will peel off in water. Problem solved. So if you put if the head of the sliver is still there, you put super glue on it, let it dry, then soak it in warm water, and then you can peel that whole layer of glue off, and it will grab the sliver and pull out. But yours is buried so deep you can't even get to any of the sliver, can you?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just get to the tip of it, but I mean, I've had to cut back layers and layers and layers of skin to do something.
You need a doctor, but you don't need that guy that wants to play games with the police force or whatever.
Oh, the surgeon, the plastic surgeon.
You're talking about the plastic surgeon
from yesterday.
Well, if I leave it in there, I might need the plastic surgeon, hand plastic surgeon.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Just get it out.
Make sure it's not Dr. Green.
Have you ever been on a Zoom call?
Have I ever been on a Zoom?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kind of a slowpoke.
That's fine. No, I understand.
I told you I'm 85.
Pat wanted a recording of her appearance on the show the other day. And I said, yeah, sure. What's your email address? She's like, I don't do that. Come on. So we had to burn a CD. And God, finding somebody around here, luckily Seth knew how to do it.
My stuff all got cut down. The only thing I have is this phone I'm holding in my hand. And now that my son's living with me, he's insisting that I get my stuff back up and running.
That's it. That's the key to happiness is just the phone in your hand.
What kind of phone do you got there, Pat? What is it?
It's a VTech.
Oh, okay.
And, cordless.
Yeah, so she's going landline.
And thing on the wall.
It's not a cellular phone. It's a regular phone. Okay.
Yeah.
A VTech. Yeah.
Have you ever done the cell phone?
No, I don't think so.
Good for you.
Well, it's the same thing as the cordless
I've got
phone.
8085 without having to have one.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's the key to a long, happy life is not getting a cell phone.
Well, Pat, sometimes it's nice because the cellular phone is just like your cordless phone there. You can take it further away from the house.
I'm really having a hard time learning new stuff right now. I rubbed my left eye, and I put it out.
Oh, no.
I'm one-eyed Pat now.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No, seriously. It's crazy. Yeah. I keep trying to close both eyes and see if one had come back. No, I damaged a nerve.
Oh, gosh.
So,
well, take care of yourself.
Damaging anything else on my body.
There you go.
All right. Well,
there you go.
All right, then. I'm not going to give you any advice, right? I don't have any. All right, Pat. Have a great day.
But you need to find a cheaper doctor than that guy that's playing golf and everything else.
They're all playing golf.
They're all playing golf, right?
Am I right?
Maybe. You know what I really would like? That guy that sings on, I'm trying to think his name right, cowboy Tex guy that sings, hey, who do you think you're talking to? That guy.
I'm not familiar.
You're not? Hey, who do you think you're talking to? That. Kind of a cowboy. He's got a Jewish name, but he's a cowboy. So he's a Jewish cowboy.
A Jewish cowboy.
Yeah. And
the singing Jewish cowboy.
Where did you hear the singing Jewish cowboy? On TV or?
On your station.
Who do you think you're talking to? Huh. All right, Jeff's looking it up right now. I don't know.
I'm looking up singing Jewish cowboy on the
I don't think that's
on Google. It's the Song of a Jewish Cowboy was a 2002 indie short film.
No, but this guy, he's got another one out there. You played a couple of his songs on this station.
Really?
And I just want to get his, because I can't go anywhere. I don't have a car. We couldn't drive it now if I had one. And I just want to get this CD.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Who do you? Okay, we'll look into this for you, Pat.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
You call us back, and we'll give you the full report.
Okay, hang on. When should I call you back for the full report?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is another day.
It is.
Scarlett O'Hara says that.
Yeah.
And look where she ended up.
Now we have something to look forward to, and that is you think you're going to call us.
Well, we had fun, didn't we?
We did. Have a good morning.
You too. Let you go now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
She sure doesn't sound 90. What is she, 85?
Yeah.
She sounds great. She sounds so great. The only thing I found on this is some guy named Dawes, which I don't know. I know we don't play that.
Yeah, that's what I found.
But you know what? Our sister station does, and that frequency, God knows, I mean, she's probably got an old tuner radio. It's right next to ours.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So we'll have to tell her tomorrow when she calls. It's Dawes. Yeah, 92.5 plays that. Who do you think you're talking to by Dawes? And I'll play some of it for her when she calls back. And then we'll burn another CD and you can send it to her in the mail.
I had to drop it off at her house. Luckily, it's on the way.
Damn, that's some service, bro. You dropped it off at her house? Such a nice guy. What happened to you? You used to be such a jerk.
Hey, listen,
Look at you.
It was right on the way home.